I thought after the first time that John Harbaugh decided to go for 2 points and they failed, they'd never do something as stupid as that again. And yeah, boy, I was wrong. The Ravens are absolutely stupid for blowing this game. But if you think of it, on the bright side, there were still 40 seconds on the clock, so easily, if they would have just tied it, Rodgers would have won this game anyways. So, as I look at it, y'all were screwed either way. So, haha, in your face, you suck, Harbaugh. Oh, man. And we are at first place back to back to back. Big win against the Baltimore Ravens. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get on with the show.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What's poppin', y'all? It's your man, Cloudboy Bills. Welcome to another episode of West Coast Sports. Oh, man. Great win for the Packers as they are able to stop the Ravens. They could have went for the kick. They didn't. They decided it was more important to really be gutsy. We're not what John Harbaugh is known for. Fortunately, they just couldn't do it. The 2-point conversion fell short, and the Packers won this game, which I think this was a great solid win. I'm super proud of this team for persevering and getting through it. I felt like maybe a touchdown would have iced the game in the fourth. Instead, they settled for the field goal, but I'm happy with the way things went in today's game, and we won. That's what matters. Everything is good. The Packers are now 11-3. Baltimore is now 8-6, and they have fell out of the playoffs with this loss. Cincinnati, with their win today, they have retaken first place. So that's great. Obviously, a lot of big things happened in today's game. First off, being said, Davante Adams has officially passed Jordy Nelson for 70 touchdowns. He has the most 70 touchdowns. There's only one guy ahead of him. Don Hudson has 99 touchdowns. So, I mean, I don't think Adams is going to be back next year regardless because money is just going to be too much of an issue at this point. But this is a huge deal. One of the best wide receivers to ever play for the team has the second most touchdowns for a receiver in Packers history. And really, if you think of it, third overall because, I mean, you got to count in Jim Taylor as a running back doing, he has 80 touchdowns or something. So, yeah, third most all-time for touchdown. That's fantastic for Adams. Other thing that happened today, now, I couldn't believe this happened, but it was true. Now, he'll pass it next week for sure. But Aaron Rodgers is officially tied Brett Favre for the most passing touchdowns in Green Bay Packers history with 442 on Reggie White's birthday. It just feels special. Favre and Reggie, they spent, each other's equals on opposite sides of the field. And, Favre, of course, Rodgers was the predecessor. Today, I believe Favre was watching today's game, and he saw, obviously, one of his most cherished moments today, tied by Rodgers. Reggie White, obviously, would have turned 60 years old today, but he was one of the greatest ever do it. And likely, that is the final game that will end. I mean, today was the final game that ended with Favre, a franchise all-time passing. And you know what? Reggie White is smiling somewhere. So obviously you can count on him to obviously do it. So some things aren't meant to come full circle, but you obviously cannot convince me otherwise. So that is just so romantic about football. I'm so happy about it, but that is what matters today. Anyways, MVP of the game. You might as well just replace the P at the end with the S. MVS, I believe, had one of his best games today. How about Devondre Campbell was all over the board trying to make tackles. And you got the whole dang O-line doing the best they can to protect Rodgers. He did get sacked today 3 times for a total of 18 yards, but they did their best, especially being all backups and do that. Another good game out of Aaron Jones as well. I'd say the best thing that we saw today was we were really able to run effectively against a great defensive front. Yeah, no Calais Campbell, which, it doesn't really matter, but still, they have one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. Regardless, we were able to do really great. 2, we won without Kenny Clark. He was placed on the COVID list. That was obviously a huge deal, being able to get a win on the road against a very good offense as well. And also, no injuries. For the first time, we played a game where no one big got injured, which is amazing. I mean, you can't not sit there and not say anything. Worst thing that we saw. Special teams, shocker. Yeah, special teams just continued to struggle as we were, I'm not going to say it was too much, but we gave up over 100 yards in special teams for that, and a lot of big blunders that did cost a lot. For example, on Baltimore's final drive, a delay of game obviously put us deeper, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're deep in their own. It's just, and then they're deep in our territory, and they just walks in. They score a touchdown, but did they score the 2-point conversion? Nah. So that's what matters. Also, no contain on the D. When we play, I don't know what it was, but you know what? When we saw us play against Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray, we were able to contain him for a big portion of the game. Recently against Fields and Tyler Huntley, we weren't able to do that. We saw him go all over the field. So he only got sacked once for 4 yards. I believe the sack was made by made by Devondre Campbell. I think that was on that 4th down stop in the very first drive of the game for Baltimore. So that's that. And Mark Andrews literally had the game of his life. He just could not be stopped. I mean, there was just nothing we could ever really do. But that's that. We're first place. We won the division for the 3rd year in a row under LaFleur. That is a blessing, to be honest. Going over today's stat line, Aaron Rodgers went 23 out of 31 for the day, 268 yards and 3 touchdowns, getting only sacked for a total of 18 yards, as well as 4 carries for 11 yards. He actually, I think, is moving on the rushing yards list as well. Aaron Jones led the day with 13 carries and 58 yards, as well as 2 catches for 12 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Dillon had 7 carries for 22 yards, a touchdown, and a catch for 13 yards. Marquez Valdes-Scantling led the day with 5 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Adams, 6 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, that passing Jordy Nelson for the most all time. He is, I believe, about 30-something about passing Jordy Nelson on the receiving yards list as well. He could have done that today, but not today, unfortunately. Mercedes Lewis, 3 catches for 40 yards. Allen Lazard, 2 for 23. Tyler Davis's first career NFL catch for 22 yards was a beauty. Josiah DeGuara, 3 catches for 16. And that was pretty much that for him. On the defensive side, Devondre Campbell, 10 total tackles. 5 of them were solo, 1 sack and a tackle for a loss. Rasul Douglas, 9 tackles. Adrian Amos, 8. Derek Stokes, 7. Savage, 6. And, of course, Barnes, also 4 for a tackle for loss. Rashawn Gary also had 2 tackles and a tackle for loss. He was being really heavily contained, so it wasn't really too much I could say. All right, on the Baltimore side, Tyler Huntley really stepped up when he needed. He played fantastic for Baltimore today. He went 28 out of 40 yards, 215, 2 touchdowns, as well as 13 carries for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the ground, so a total of 4 touchdowns for Tyler Huntley. Great day for him. On the ground game, Latavius Murray, 7 catches for 48 yards, as well as a catch for 3. Devonta Freeman had 6 carries for 22 yards, as well as a catch for 2. Mark Andrews led the day, 10 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown had 10 catches for 43 yards, and then Devin Duvernay 3 for 13, and everyone else had applied 1 catch. Prochet, Bateman, Wallace, and that was that. On the defensive side, Patrick Queens led the way. He is just an animal. 13 total tackles. Huge day. Stone with a sack. And Justin Houston, who came from Kansas City, he had also a sack today. Both him and Pauser came in for that one, and Madubuike was the only one with the other sack. So that was a lot of things on the other hand. Special teams, both Crosby and Tucker both had a field goal, as well as kicking all their extra points. And only 1 punt for Baltimore, unfortunately, but I was hoping we could see more. Boroquez had 3 for 146, so not a lot of punting, but what can you do? We won. That's what matters. I'm happy about it. On the contrary, we're seeing Tampa Bay play the Saints right now. Obviously, if Tampa Bay loses, that'd be big because obviously Tampa Bay has a very easy schedule going into the rest of the season. Big loss today for the Arizona Cardinals. They lost to the Detroit Lions. So, Detroit, you want the number 1 overall pick, just lose out. I mean, you're that dumb stupid to lose. Now Jacksonville has the first overall pick because you're stupid. So, don't know why Detroit would but I mean, it's great. I mean, that for officially helps it the case. And now, Arizona now is pushed back, but I think at this point it's it. So it's either going to be us or Tampa Bay, in my opinion, that comes up with the number 1 seed. Dallas is actually playing a lot better, so I could see them really try to come in for the mix. But this is huge. The Packers, I feel like, know that they really have to win out because Tampa's schedule is just so easy after this. If the Saints end up winning, that'd be big because, first off, I mean, game lead. And I think when you want to go through Lambeau, it's going to be very tough. I mean, we saw Brady do it before, but not in front of a full crowd, which is a huge difference. Plus, I think our defense is better. And keep in mind, no Bakhtiari, Zadarius Smith, or Jair Alexander. 3 of those guys are going to be coming in sooner or later. I was planning on making a video talking about when I think they're going to be back and all, but I don't know. But I talked a lot today. A lot of great games today. We'll be seeing a lot more games the next 2 days and all week, but it's crazy enough that it is. All right, next week we play the Cleveland Browns on Christmas Day. So the Bucks play on Christmas and the Packers play on Christmas, hosting games. So that's fantastic. At this point, the NBA I don't think is really going to matter because half the players are out with COVID anyways, so these games aren't just going to be trash, but I don't know what else to say. On the contrary, Packers win. We win the division, and I think at this point, clinching the bye is what is important for the Packers right now. So anyways, it's your man Club Boy Bales. If you like what you saw, give a like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, and do whatever. And as always, it's your man Club Boy Bales. We will see you next week on Christmas. Go Pack Go. We'll see you next time.